I met this woman about a year ago at a show. She opened up for me. I fell in love with her then. I know you're gonna fall in love with her tonight. She plays a lot all throughout New York, New Jersey. Put your hands together for Randi Lupo!
Hello, Comix and Foxwoods! It's so good to be here tonight! It took me 6 hours to get here, and I am thrilled to be here. Thank you. It was only supposed to take 3 hours, but my fiancé had to stop at every rest stop. He's a little bit incontinent. Oh boy, do I love it here. Is this not a beautiful casino? This is gorgeous. I love it here. I live in the tri-state area, and everyone's uptight and neurotic. Not like here. Look at you all relaxed on couches. Oh my goodness, and I may jump onto the couch during my act, so please just catch me. I trust all of you. You're adorable, sir. What's your name? John? Chuck, John, I don't know, it all sounds the same. Where you from, Chuck? Hey, nice, I'm so happy to meet you. Is this your lovely wife? Hi, you're adorable. You know, I know a lot of you are gonna think this is wrong, but I actually have a thing for married men. I do. But seriously, I love their wives too, I really do. And it's not a sexual thing. I'm not looking for sex. I just want to be part of a functional family. I want to play Monopoly. I want to play board games. I want to take long car rides. What is your last name? Maureen? Nice. How nice would it be if we were invited to a wedding and the seating card read, Mr. and Mrs. Maureen and Randi. I love it. I love it. You guys are the best. You guys are the best. I am so happy I got out of bed today. You guys make it worthwhile. In general, I'm curled up in the fetal position, but not tonight. I'm slowly straightening out. I'm going to get taller and taller as the evening goes on. You know what? I'll tell you, I've been going to therapy for a really, really long time. And I'm finally on the road to recovery. But my therapist doesn't agree with me because she has 2 more kids to put through college. And I tell her I finally don't have to check my front door and windows 26 times before going to sleep at night anymore. And she's like, Randi, that's real progress. That's really great progress. But what about inside your closets and under your bed? I just started taking Vyvanse. It's the newest medication for concentration. And now for the first time in my life, I can actually focus on my depression. You know, a couple of months ago, I went to a doctor, and within 6 minutes, he diagnosed me as having bipolar disorder. And I guess it was because I was frantically cleaning everything in his office. I dusted everything. It was spotless when I was done. And I thought I could fly while I was swinging around on a ceiling fan. And I stopped paying my bills for a year. But I was able to go on 8 back-to-back Caribbean cruises. And I want to tell you guys something. If you all stop paying your bills for a year, you can also live a very nice lifestyle. Thank you. That is my public service announcement for this evening. Now, I don't believe in this diagnosis. I really don't agree with it, but I love taking the medication. Because I like to be totally flat with no personality or affect. A couple of weeks ago, I was taking a ride in my car, and some guy rear ends me. The police come on the scene. Cop comes to my car and goes, "Ma'am, are you okay? Are you okay? Do you need an ambulance?" I was like, "I'm fine." Do you know where the nearest Wendy's drive-thru is? You guys are the best. I love you. Are you guys a couple? No? Does there gay marriage in Rhode Island? Because I'm into that. That's fantastic. I love gays, I love straights, I love everyone. My latest kick is transgendered. I just love everyone. Like, I just wanted to share that because I'm very open. I like to wear my heart on my sleeve. Sometimes I just pee in my pants. Sometimes I just like to stop and wonder and think about what would my life be like if I was normal? And is this a good time in my career to go to a nude beach? Thank you, thank you. My goal is to become undeniably funny, like Louis C.K., Ellen DeGeneres, and Vladimir Putin. I'm currently working on a one-woman show, mostly because I can't get another woman to do it with me. But seriously, it's going very well. I already have 2 sponsors, Paxil and Jack Daniels. It's not a musical or anything, but once you mix the 2 sponsors, you'll probably hear music anyway. The reason I was thinking about you girls, because you're good girlfriends, right? You get together, you go out, because a couple of days ago, I went out with a bunch of my girlfriends for lunch. At least I think they were my girlfriends. They were stabbing me in the back, so I know that they're my girlfriends. Now, I sat next to the beautiful blonde one from Scandinavia with the fair, translucent skin. And she says to me, "Randy, I feel bad for you. You're dark. You must be a hairy beast." So I asserted dominance and bit her on the neck. She's okay, though. She's okay. I didn't break skin. Oh my God, I tell you, I couldn't be happier to be here this evening. I actually didn't think I was gonna make it. I've been having a lot of trouble walking lately. I thought I had multiple sclerosis, and I went to my doctor, and thank God he told me I only have 1 sclerosis. He is such a smart man. I grew up in Brooklyn, and my grandmother lived with us, and my mom and grandma would be calling to each other all day, but they could never hear each other. So this is what I heard my entire childhood. Ma! Wah! Ma! Wah! Ma! We ended up getting a knock on the door from animal control, telling us it's illegal to house wild birds. It's terrible. They ended up putting them both down. But I was very, very lucky as a child. My best friend's mother took me in and raised me as if I was one of her own kids. She beat me. You guys are awesome. You really are. Give yourselves a hand. You know, I'll be honest with you. I feel so comfortable in talking to you guys and telling you intimate things. I'm actually a very lonely woman. And I look for human contact wherever I can find it. I just want to reach out and touch you, sir. Touch me, please. Oh, thank you for coming. Awesome beard. I love that beard. How long does that take to grow? About a couple of months? Thank you for answering. Would you like me to tell you something humiliating about myself so you feel comfortable telling me how long it took your beard to grow? I'm addicted to X-Lax. very lonely and I look for human contact wherever I can find it, which is what you too. Yay, sister! Woohoo! And that's why I refuse to get an easy pass. Because when I pay my tolls, I like to touch the toll booth collector's hand and gaze into their eyes. I'm on a first name basis with them, my sister friend. Yeah, I want you to be my sister wife, actually. I'm like, hey Manny, if I give you this $50 bill and let you keep the change, can you just spoon me and tell me how funny I am? And that arm fat is really hot. Oh, that Manny, he is something. You guys are the best audience. Can I tell you something? You guys rock. Last night, I did a show for a really, really young audience. I think they were like embryos. And they were so disrespectful. Somebody, I know, right? Somebody started screaming from the back of the room. Hey, shouldn't you be at home cooking dinner for your family? Maybe you should be talking about relevant things like they do on Comedy Central. Why don't you go in the corner somewhere and have a hot flash and start sobbing, lady? I couldn't believe it. So I looked back there to see what was going on, and I realized I was being heckled by my daughter, Brooke. And I don't really understand this because I'm very good to this kid. You know, during the year, I took her on all these college road trips. We actually went upstate New York to visit Ithaca College. Is anyone familiar with it? You know, the party school for dummies. And it just so happens to share the town with Cornell University, the safety school for the intellectually gifted, or as I like to call them, Asians. Well, wouldn't you know it, I bump into a father of a Cornell student, and he's like, my daughter is so bright, she's going to be a doctor, speaks 7 languages, and plays the oboe. He looks at my daughter, Brooke, and goes, so what are your interests? And my daughter goes, well, I want to stop global warming and pole dance. So the father looks at me and goes, so Mom, what do you think of this? And I was like, well, actually, I don't believe in global warming. And as far as pole dancing goes, I think the tips are fabulous. Guys, I fucking love all of you. So anyway, I said to my daughter, Brooke, I said, you know what? I cannot stand looking at this man another minute. Please, let's get out of here and let's go pick up your pole and pasties. Oh my goodness, like I said, my kids are great, and I really like to spend quality time with them. So I took my kids on vacation to bond with them, only to find out that they're bigger alcoholics than I am. But I guess I should have realized this because they're always leaving those bottles of Poland spring water around the house. You know, the kind that never freeze. And I'm running around the house trying to straighten up. And I consider myself an environmentalist or just plain cheap. I don't like to waste anything, so I take the water, I pour it in the dog's bowl, run out for 45 minutes to do some errands. I come back and find my dog passed out in a pile of his own vomit with lace panties on his head, with the stereo blasting to Barry Manilow. What are you gonna do with these kids, right? Am I right? But I really do like to, spend time with them. I really do. And I'm very, very proud of my older daughter. She got into her reach school, Brookdale Community College in Monmouth County, New Jersey. It was either that or Apex Tech. And she's such an awesome kid that she takes her financial aid money and she buys the whole family presents from the college bookstore. She brought her sister Brooke a sweatshirt that said BCC on it. And she bought 25 Hershey bars for her diabetic uncle. And she bought me a jock strap. So sweet, she thought it was a thong. So my daughter goes to therapy and she's always trying to avoid her appointments. So she calls up her therapist, Rochelle, and she goes, I can't come to therapy today because I have a job interview at Dick's Sporting Goods store. So the therapist calls me and she goes, Mrs. Lupo, I'm just calling to verify your daughter's latest excuse for not coming to therapy. Do you know anything about Dick's? I was like, do I know anything about Dick's? I'm wearing a jock strap. My goodness. I have to tell you guys something. I lost a lot of weight recently. I really did. Because I had to. I had to because I realized I was getting heavy because I went to Macy's to buy a dress for a party. And when I brought it to the register, the cashier was like, ma'am, we have matching shams to go with your bedspread. You know, I'm an emotional eater, I am. I just eat all the time when I'm happy, sad, lonely, mad. It doesn't matter. I just need to eat. Just need to fill that void. Does anybody have food for me? Come on. I take all loose French fries. You know, my friend Alan was trying to help me. He's like, do you want to join Overeaters Anonymous with me? And I was like, well, it depends. What are they serving? But, you know, I'm a lot more motivated now. I really am. Actually, this morning, I took a 6 a.m. spin class. I burned approximately 237 calories and proceeded to go to 2 donut shops after. I was going to hit the third one, but I realized I was running late for my Weight Watchers weigh-in. You know, back in the day, I used to teach, and I get really upset because I feel like teachers get a bad rap. Am I right? And people are like, what are they complaining about? They only work till 3 o'clock. And I have to explain that a teacher's day truly first begins at 3. They have to grade tests and papers, write lesson plans. They barely have time to have sex with their students. I was lucky though, I didn't have those time constraints myself because I taught the little ones kindergarten. And not anyone here who has children know that children are precious, but they could also be very challenging. I'll never forget, I had a little girl, Brianna, in my class. They're so beautiful, but so shy. I could not get this child to talk for anything. She would never answer a question. She wouldn't speak to other students. On back to school day, when the parents were all there observing, I had 30 parents in the back of my room, and a miracle happened. Little Brianna spoke for the first time. She was like, Mrs. Lupo, you look really ugly today. And you're a horrible teacher. So I was like, Brianna, could you please come here? How did you get hold of my annual review? My favorite part about kindergarten, though, was teaching the kids how to read. And we had a really fun way to do this. I would say to the kids, get out your catcher's mitt, I'm going to throw you a word. And they would have to catch it, finger spell it, and make a sentence. So I was like, okay, Brandon, you catch the word cat. And he was like, fat. Mrs. Lupo is fat. Because she can't stay on her diet. And that's why she's single. So I was like, wow, Brandon, that was so awesome. I'm actually going to throw you a bonus word. Get ready for this one. You were an accident. Oh my goodness. You know, I was in the supermarket the other day and I bumped into this girl, Francine, from high school, and she was like, oh, hi, Randy. Oh my goodness, I haven't seen you. Oh, I ended up marrying Jeff Kaplan. He's an attorney, very successful. We have 3 beautiful daughters, and we live on Cherry Lane in the house our parents gave us before they moved to Florida. So what have you been doing since high school, Randy? So I told her I got knocked up, I married a roadie. I picked my kids up late from daycare one too many times, got thrown in jail, my husband dropped dead, and now my girls are roommates in rehab. So I was like, so Francine, you wanna have lunch? And she's like, oh, same old Randy, you haven't changed. And I was like, oh, yes, I have, Francine. I stopped being a people pleaser. Because really, what does doing good deeds ever get people? Good karma? I'd much rather have good shawarma. That's delicious. Anybody here have some shawarma? And besides, what did doing good deeds ever get the Ingalls sisters on Little House on the Prairie? Mary ended up going blind. The baby Carrie grew up to be a crack whore. And all half pint Laura got was those shitty after school specials. Oh God, I love all of you, I really do. Is everybody gambling? Is everyone gambling? Anybody winning? It's your birthday? Happy birthday! Happy birthday! Anyone else celebrating a birthday? All right there, happy birthday. How old are you? Older new? Great, that's great. I'm like hard of hearing, I can't even hear you. I actually have an 86 IQ, but I like to think of myself as gifted. Anyone else? So happy birthday, how are you celebrating? By coming here? This isn't, who's at your table? Are these your friends? Why did he leave you? He doesn't like you anymore? Oh, what's not to love? I think I'm in love with you. And who are these people behind you? Oh, nice. Well, maybe you will want to talk and chat, maybe exchange room numbers. You know, you could have an orgy. I love that kind of a thing. Oh my goodness, thank God I have all my tissues. If I don't have, I have so many snot rags, I don't know what to do with myself. Sometimes, you know, I like Mr. Rogers a lot longer than it was appropriate to. He was actually the theme of my Super Sweet 16. And Lady Elaine, his creepy puppet, was actually my role model. She taught me how to put my makeup on. Do you like my rouge? As a teenager, I had blue eyeshadow up to my hairline. And I confided in my therapist that I wanted to sleep with Mr. Rogers. And he told me he thought he would be a very considerate lover. You know, actually, my husband died a long time ago, but please don't feel bad. I was a nagging wife and he wanted to die. And I went to a psychic to connect to my loved one, and she was like, oh, I see your husband's Sal, and he's saying things I really shouldn't be telling you. And I was like, no, please, you have to tell me. She goes, okay, he's saying to please stop contacting him, that your voice is still really annoying. So I went to a support group to deal with the grief of my husband's loss, and everybody was talking about what helps them to feel better. And one woman said that going to therapy helped her to feel better. And another woman said that weaving baskets really got the stress out through her fingertips. They said you had to weave a good 2,000 to 3,000 a week in order for this to be effective. And they were like, Randy, what helps you to feel better? And I was like, well, actually, what helps me to feel better is performing for all of you at Comix at Foxwoods. Thank you. That and sleeping with my husband's best friend. You guys have been amazing. Are you ready for your headliner? Guys, you're going to have to take advantage of him tonight because this is his very last night as Wild Bill. And you are going to love him. He is so awesome. He actually had a quarterly show here at Foxwoods. And he was just signed on to perform with Catch a Rising Star. Please put your hands together for Bill Simus.